Good morning, everyone. Welcome to morning meeting. Today we're hanging out with Skeeter, our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador. Hello, bud. So excited for breakfast. And so are you. I know, Henry. As always, let me know where you guys are tuning in from today. If you have any questions, so would love to answer them. Now we're going to get into Skeeter's enclosure and hang out with him for a little bit and watch him eat his breakfast this morning. Hi, Ansel. You want to come down? Come eat breakfast. There you go. Good morning, Skeeter. Oh, yeah. So good. Pick up your leftovers from yesterday. He makes a mess of his salad and throws it all over the place. But I'm a little messy eater, but that's okay. Are you only eating the sunflower seeds? How about you eat your fruits and veggies, bud? Like, I just want my junk food. You make a mess. Throw your food everywhere. Much better. Oh, Henry, I know. I'm just gonna throw that. Good boy, Skeeter. There you go. And so Skeeter is our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador. Obviously, we see them all over. We have grays, reds, and flying squirrels around here in Maine. But we really see these guys the most. They are obviously a very high prey species for other raptors. So there's a lot of them, but they're quite cool. They are in the rodent family. So just like Henry, he does have those bright orange incisors, those bright orange teeth, because the iron in his food gets deposited into them. And just like rust on metal, and makes those teeth really, really hard, so he can crunch open nuts. You can see he has a couple acorns in his salad this morning. His acorns and his sunflower seeds are his favorite part of his salad that he always eats first. And in the process, throws the rest of his salad around. But those bright orange teeth are really hard, so you can crack open nuts and all that stuff. That's one of the things that all of our rodents have. So Skeeter has them, our porcupines have them, mice have them, beavers have them. And so it makes a rodent a rodent. And so those bright orange front teeth, those bright orange incisors. Crunch, 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 crunch. So Skeeter's salad this morning consists of some chopped up kale, some apple, and his other veggie today was a little bit of carrot and some squash, some sweet potato, then those blocks, we call those rodent chow. So Henry and Skeeter both get them. Rodent chow, lab chow, same thing, it's just a nutritional little biscuit for them that they'll eat. Yeah. And then the sunflower seeds, acorns, then we do always try to give him some natural browse as well. So either like a couple pine cones for him to play with. He will sometimes eat his leaves. He has some black birch in here, as well as some oak. But he generally does not usually munch on his browse. He, like Henry does, he usually just kind of runs around it and doesn't really do much with it. Unless they're acorns. He did really enjoy, if you guys saw on our social media the other day, one of our wonderful board members had dropped off a bunch of sunflowers. And so we did give a couple, one to Skeeter and a couple to our squirrel ambassadors after we enjoyed them for a couple days. And Skeeter really enjoyed playing with them, eating all the seeds off of them. The sunflower seeds are one of his favorite treats. Nibble, nibble, nibble. As always, if you guys have any questions or anything, certainly drop them in the comments. We'd love to answer them this morning. But we're just having breakfast with Skeeter. Yeah. So Skeeter gets this platter once a day in the morning because he is diurnal, just like us. So he's awake and moving around during the day, and that's when he needs to be eating. So he sometimes is a little bit harder to see in the later afternoon and kind of curls up for the night pretty early, especially as it gets colder. So he'll come out and eat in the morning, but then we'll kind of relax and veg for the afternoon. What do you think, Skeeter? Nibble, nibble, nibble. I don't know if you guys can hear his little crunchies and his little sounds that he makes. You threw your entire salad off the plate, dude. I just want the sunflower seeds. I only want my junk food. Duh. You said, oh, so upset that he's out of acorns and sunflowers. Rude. Oh. I'm sorry, you ran out of your treats. Here, I'm gonna throw some of your platter back on there, so maybe you'll see it. So right now we do have lots of these guys in our as patients right now, lots of little babies. We are unfortunately actually currently maxed out on our baby mammal patients. Right now we have lots of mostly baby red squirrels, but just like the baby grays, they do need to be given milk several times a day. They are a little bit older now, so hi. I know you ate all your sunflower seeds. We get lots of them in the really early in the spring, and then we're towards the end of baby mammal season for the fall. Unfortunately, we still sometimes do get calls about little tiny babies with climate change and the warming temperatures. We are starting to see our squirrels as well as a lot of our mammals and other animals expanding their breeding seasons. So where these guys used to have very distinct 2 breeding seasons, one in the fall, one in the spring. Our birds as well used to have very distinct breeding seasons, and that is very quickly changing. So we are starting to see these guys start to have 3 seasons now, and so sometimes we do get these tiny little pinky babies in the later than we should be, or we had a couple little pinkies in the middle of the summer when we wouldn't normally get them. So it's always changing, and so we are seeing these guys a lot in our clinic. Right. Good morning, Anne. Good morning, Marcus. And his predators will be essentially anything that can catch him. So primarily our raptors will definitely really enjoy these guys. And like a fisher or something like that might take them. So he weighs about 1 pound, so he isn't super tiny. But especially our raptors in particular really enjoy these guys as a prey. Marcus, his favorite food is generally sunflower seeds and acorns. So you guys saw him scouring through his salad for all the sunflower seeds that he gets on there. He gets about a tablespoon sprinkled on top as a little salad topper. That's always the first thing he eats. So right now he is munching on some sweet potato. What's that? Is that a bug? Oh, okay. Good morning, Chuck from Rhode Island. Good morning, Priscilla. Yeah, they are pretty cool. I would agree, Priscilla. So we actually introduced squirrels into urban areas. We always think as we're in cities, we see them all the time. But early in the 1900s, they were only out in rural areas, out in the woods. And of course, they do appear cute. They are prey. They're not, generally, they will occasionally take the omnivores, but they are primarily herbivores. Sometimes they will take bugs and nestlings occasionally, but they are primarily an herbivore. But yeah, because we do think them as that praetum, though, and very appearingly very cute, we brought them into cities because we wanted to see them, especially in Central Park in New York. So people brought them in so that they could see them, and of course then their populations exploded from there. And so we introduced them into our cities, actually, which is very odd to think about now, considering we see them all over the place. Good morning, Kim. Welcome. Chuck, I heard that flying squirrels are more numerous than gray. I'm not actually sure on the flying squirrel numbers. They are a little bit different because they are nocturnal, where the grays and the reds are diurnal, like us. The nocturnals are awake, or the flying squirrels are awake at night. So we actually have a flying squirrel baby patient right now, which is really cool. We don't get them as often. I'm not totally sure on the numbers, though. Sorry, Chuck. Good morning, Katie. Skeeter, what are you doing? Do you hear Henry? Henry's very jealous. Such a good climber. Good boy, Skeeter. What do you think? Yeah, so Skeeter can get all around his enclosure. So sometimes he'll climb up the board. Sometimes he'll hang out, especially during the summertime when it's really hot. He'll crawl up on the top windowsill and just sleep up there. Hi. You're such a goof. Good morning, Teresa from Jersey. Welcome. That's awesome. What, Skeeter? Are you gonna go hide the cash? So all throughout this enclosure, along the back as well as along the front, Skeeter has many little caches, which means that he hides his extra acorns and extra treats in there, and gets sometimes very sad when he has to get a deep clean once a month when we completely replace his wood chips and take everything out and scrub everything down. Granted, he always gets new treats. You're so active this morning. That's your old one. You have a brand new salad right here. You already ate that one. You're so silly this morning. You're so active. Oh, hi. What is it? Getting your morning zoomies out? What do you think? Yes, Chuck, the flyers are nocturnal. Why we see them less, they're gliding, I guess, more or less. They have, they don't fly like a bird does, but they do kind of just glide through the sky with their extra skin flaps. Good morning, John from New Jersey. Katie, it really is the best way to start the day. I mean, how could you not love this? Skeeter, getting your zoomies out. You were something this morning. This is the most active I've seen you in a while, now that it's not as hot out. Oh my gosh, Skeeter. You're such a goof. So Skeeter came to us in 2013 after he was, he presumably fell from the nest, we believe. So he came to us with head trauma. So he's kind of like a 10-second Tom sometimes. So he isn't obviously afraid, but because of his head trauma, sometimes he does some weird behaviors. Oh, hi. So that is why he is with us. So he is now 7 years old, so he is pretty old for... You're something this morning. he's pretty old for a squirrel as a prey item. So he doesn't do a whole lot of off-site programming, but so he's very usually visible when we are at the center, when we are open to the public again, because he doesn't go away very often. Unlike Ophelia and Henry, who we can just have on a table and they'll just eat and eat and eat. Skeeter does have to be in a little carrier, and we'll give him sunflower seeds, but sometimes he just goes, I just want to sleep, and will just bury himself, which is no fun for him, no fun for our visitors. So he doesn't go off-site too often. A couple times a year he does, but yeah, he's really something today, Chuck. It's morning zoomies for sure. John, yes, he is our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador. So he does live with us permanently. He will not be released. So he does live with us as a non-releasable ambassador. He's one of our 30 ambassadors that we have in our ambassador family. Raptors, some reptiles, and then mammals like Skeeter. But he is our only squirrel. We have one squirrel ambassador, Henry, our one porcupine, and then Ophelia, our opossum ambassador, as our mammals. You are something today. Hi. Such a goof. Did you find a cache? Bud. Donna, his name is Skeeter. He's our Eastern Gray Squirrel Ambassador here at the Center for Wildlife. So he is non-releasable. So he will live with us permanently. He's pretty old for a squirrel. He's almost 7 now. So he does live with us. He will never be released, unfortunately, because of his head trauma. Did you find a cache? What did you find? You are really something this morning, bud. Showing off. He is pretty cute, Donna. I would agree. Unfortunately, that's why people do try to raise these guys when they find babies, but unfortunately they do turn not very nice very quickly. So there you go. We do get lots of little babies into our hospital as patients that we do have to hand feed, a special formula made just for squirrels. So we will hand feed them for usually the first half that they're with us, and then they'll get promoted to an outdoor enclosure so they could start to eat some solids and really learn to be wild. Unfortunately, because they are very cute and seem friendly as babies, it can be very confusing for people when they find them. But unfortunately, once they hit 12 to 13 weeks old, that's when they hit puberty. And they turn very feral, unfortunately, and wild. Some of the worst bites that a lot of our clinic staff have ever received have been from squirrels, even though we work with our raptors and all of our other animals. So it's definitely something to be careful about, and if you do find a baby, definitely call a wildlife rehabber so they can give them the best care possible. They do need, like all of our wild baby animals, they do need specialized formula just for them at a certain ratio. So we do get lots of these guys in. Right now we have lots of baby red squirrels right now in our hospital. I think we have 3 or 4 grays right now as babies, and a couple adults. Mostly reds right now. We had a couple orphan families come in. I think we have 20 or so baby reds, 15 or 20. Donna, how long he's been there, what kind of trauma. So Skeeter has been with us since 2013. He came to us with head trauma, and so we believe he probably fell from his nest. So that's why he is non-releasable. Sometimes he acts a little bit more squirrely than the average squirrel. So that is why he is non-releasable. Marcus says, you ever bury his food and forget? Yes. So that's very, very common, actually, of squirrels. That's why they're actually responsible for our old-growth forests. And so they will cache, which means that they're going to hide their food somewhere, especially acorns and treats. And Skeeter always caches his food around. One of his favorite enrichment games is we'll take a big pile of acorns or treats, and then we hide them in here as a surprise, and he gets super excited. We call it jackpot, right? But they will often forget their food. They forget about 70% of the caches that they hide. And so these guys are primarily responsible for producing our old growth forests and our little nature's foresters. You are something this morning, Skeeter. It's like the squirrel version of catnip. I don't know what you did or what. You're so crazy this morning, but it's quite cute. Good morning, Naomi from Rhode Island. You right, Skeeter? What? So with all rodents, their front two teeth are very hard. They're always growing, as rodent teeth do. So we constantly have to monitor Skeeter's enclosure and Henry's enclosure, because they will chew if there isn't enough hard things for them to chew on, or if they just feel like chewing. And so we constantly have to check his enclosure. You can see along the front, sometimes he'll chew along his front corner. So we're constantly monitoring his enclosure and making sure that he can't get out, predators can't get in, make sure he's not going to get caught on anything while he's chewing. And obviously we don't want to ruin the structure of the enclosure as well. So that's one thing that Katie and I are always monitoring, with particularly Skeeter and Henry, because they will chew. You are crazy this morning. No, Donna, he does not normally have this much energy. Definitely his morning zoomies. I'm not totally sure why, but it's very cute and funny to see. Getting your workout, which is good, because it's almost starting to get cold, and you're going to start packing on the weight, bud. Him and Henry, and actually all of our mammal ambassadors, and during the wintertime we have to be really careful, because they will pack on some weight to help them keep warm, which of course we want them to do. We want them to be able to keep themselves warm. Skeeter has his little box up there that he'll stuff with fleece and straw and hay. And then when it gets really cold, he will get a little heating pad for the night. But he will start to pack on weight pretty soon, so we have to start being a little bit more careful with his weight and make sure he's not getting too many extra treats. So he packs on a little bit of weight, but not too much. But right now, you're burning all of it off, so... Good morning, Andy! From Henrietta. Right? Yeah, he's something else this morning. It's very funny to watch him right now. You have so much energy. Hi. So happy. For real, Donna, I definitely wish I have not certainly had enough coffee this morning to give me this kind of energy. I certainly wish I had it as well. John, on average, how much will he gain? It depends on the year. It depends what he's starting off as. So he will usually gain probably between 50 and 100 grams, depending on what he was to start with. Right now, he is a little on the slimmer side. Like a lot of, oh, good boy, nice cash. You might be able to see over there, he just cash piece of the squash. Yeah. So it certainly depends on what they're starting at and how quickly it gets cold. It was pretty warm, and then we had the last 2 weeks, up until the last couple days, were pretty cold, and then it's been warm the last couple days. So it is temperature dependent on how quickly they gain all that. So he'll usually be about 650 to 700, so a little over a pound and an eighth or so during the winter time. Then he'll go closer to about 600 grams during the summertime. I think we all need some of this energy, Andy. Yeah, took a break to eat. Donna, we are in Cape Neck, Maine. So we are near York, if you're familiar with the Maine area. So a little bit in a little bit inland from the coast, but we are located off the York exit of I-95. Is this why, Skeeter, is this why every single day I have to come in and move your wood chips? And so Skeeter gets like 3 to 4 inches of wood chips, a nice little layer, and every single day I have to come in here and do this to cover up, because all of their enclosures do have this little mesh on the bottom. It's a 1x1 metal mesh that we use for our predator-proofing base. And then when we do his cleans and take all the wood chips out once a month, we will check all that predator-proofing to make sure that there isn't any holes or that nothing came in, or it isn't rusted and deteriorating, which does happen because they go to the bathroom in similar places. But this totally explains why now I have to fix the places I do, Skeeter, because maybe this is a more often occurrence than we're led to believe. Oh, Brunswick isn't that... Oh, I guess it's a little bit farther, but... in Maine. Right, Skeeter? You're crazy this morning. And so if anyone has any last questions, I can certainly answer them, but otherwise, we're gonna let Skeeter continue his zoomies and go get everyone else fed breakfast this morning. Good point. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Skeeter, can you stay still for like 3 seconds so we can say bye to everyone? Like, I have so much to do, I have so much energy to burn. Yeah, he's gonna sleep good tonight for sure. Or even this afternoon. He normally sleeps a lot of the afternoon as well, so. Oh, you're welcome, Katie and John. And Teresa, you're welcome. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, Alan and Donna. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Hey, bye, Skeeter. Nope. Have a great day, everyone.